Good morning to everyone, class 7. And today is your last class of October. So welcome to that. Few things in the chat box. Number one, Parthiv, okay, you don't have electricity in your area for some time. So I can understand, it's all right. I can understand the problem that you are facing. Shreya, yes, I will it is already uploaded. I'll share it after today's class, both the links together in Vicon. Don't worry. And oh, Ishan is giving me more updates, Burma and all. Oh, okay. Shaunak, yes, again, match related. I'll get back to match related.
Ma'am, can you hear me now at least?
Yes, Rupaya, now I can hear you absolutely.
I will not say something anymore because already there is less time, so you can continue.
Oh, okay. No problem. I do understand your viewpoint, and okay, we started with a nice discussion on the matches, and now we are going to go ahead in history. We are going to go to the past. From the present World Cup, we are going to go to the past of India, and we are going to study. We are going to start with the Mughal Empire. Okay, so yes, Mughals. We ended history with the defeat of whom?
Ibrahim Lodi.
Ibrahim Lodi.
Very good. The last empire of the Delhi Sultanate was the Lodhi dynasty. And while the Lodhi dynasty saw its peak, it rose to the peak of its power under Sikandar Lodi. You will see Sikandar Lodi's son, Ibrahim Lodi, was the last ruler of the Lodi dynasty. And Ibrahim Lodi, as you all know, he was a very hot-headed person. Hot-headed means, I told you, he took decisions. Yes, his decisions were not bad.
He gets angry very quickly.
He would get angry very quickly.
In Bengali, like
short-tempered.
Yes, short-tempered.
And in Bengali, it's called matha goro.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know how many of you are like that, but
My mother.
Because this way, what happened was his Ibrahim Lodi's uncles turned against him. His uncle Daulat Khan, his distant uncle Daulat Khan Lodi, he became an enemy, and Daulat Khan decided to invite Babur to India. So today we are going to learn a little bit about Babur. Now, as you all know, let me share screen this week. This is from your book only, children. This is just that this is last year they had a different book, so we made these study material. This is for last year because many people got the books later on. There were issues, so we made this. No,
But we are already after Aurangzeb.
No. This is the wrong one. There is one on Babur. Wait. Just hold on a minute. The Babur one I will open. Yes. No, this is for their last year's test. Hold on. Where did the Babur chapter right now? No, this is again after Akbar. Sorry. You will be, even if I don't get it, not a problem. The Great Mughals. Yes, this one. So I would just like to, show you it in some simple points, in a simple way. If we begin, so medieval Indian history basically it starts from 1500s and it continues till 1700, or rather a little later on. The Mughal Empire was one of the longest empires that lasted in India, one of the longest that lasted in India, and definitely this empire took, during the reign of the Mughals, India saw some great high points. India reached some great high points. There was times of prosperity. There was times of trade flourishing. There were times when India was, completely, everything was very good, doing very well. Then again, there were deep lows when there were problems. There were lots of rivalry. There was wars, which was both was present. But the Mughals managed to rule mainly Delhi and its surrounding areas for a very long time, with a short break in middle. We will do about that break, as we proceed. Now, the Mughal Empire, the Mughal Empire saw many kings. We see the first 6 kings, the first 6 Mughal rulers, the first 6 of them, they are known as the Great Mughals. Why are they known as the Great Mughals? Basically, it was under them that you can say the
It
Mughal
was in the peak of its
Empire.
power.
What?
The Mughal Empire was under them. The Mughal Empire was in the peak of its power.
Very true. Absolutely, Rupayan. Very
what
true.
were they called again?
They were called the Great Mughals. The Great Mughals. See the topic.
Okay.
They were called the first 6 Mughals. That is Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Aurangzeb. Sorry, not
At his peak
Jahangir,
of flourish,
Aurangzeb.
Sher
Yes, we will come to that.
Ma'am, actually, after
Jahangir,
Akbar,
Shah Jahan,
Jahangir.
Aurangzeb, all of them,
Shah Jahan,
these 6
Aurangzeb.
rulers, they were known as the Great Mughals. So from Babur to Aurangzeb, it was called the Great Mughals because the empire reached its peak under them. After that, after Aurangzeb, there were quite a few rulers. But those rulers, they are known as the later Mughals. The later Mughals, you can say, they were not really as prominent as the first 6 of them. And under them, the empire started becoming smaller in size. And by the time it was time for the last ruler to rule over Delhi, so it was only the Delhi and a very small area. Once the huge empire had reduced to just Delhi, and the surrounding areas, the last ruler of the Mughal Empire was Bahadur Shah. He was killed in the revolt of 1857. The Sepoy Mutiny, which we know as very famously, or the first Battle of Independence, he was killed there. And in 1857,
Ma'am, Bahadur Shah Zafar, ma'am, is it that one
yes,
or Bahadur Shah too?
Bahadur Shah too. Bahadur Shah, he was the last ruler of the Mughal dynasty, and he was the one who was killed in the revolt of 1857. So from 1526 to 1857, imagine how long the Mughals ruled.
Yes, ma'am, 300. Almost.
So
nearly.
you can see how long the Mughal Empire was, but only the first 6 rulers, actually during them only it reached its peak. After Aurangzeb, there were lots of power struggles and lots of reasons. We'll do why the empire declined, but let's see why the empire started on the first hand. Glimpses of it you already know. So
yes, ma'am.
the Mughal ruler, first Mughal ruler or the Mughal dynasty was founded by Babur. Babur was the son of a chief who was mainly ruling in a land in Central Asia called Farghana. Do you know this? Some of you said we watched the Empire.
Yes, ma'am, we know it.
You were saying
We know
Yes,
it.
ma'am, on video, ma'am.
So you all must be knowing this thing, that you see the Babur was the son of a chief, the chief of a region in Farghana. During that time, actually children.
Ma'am, what was the name of the chief, ma'am?
Babur's father's name I am just now unable to remember, but I'll get back to you. I'll tell you the name. I cannot remember it right away, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you the name. So when Babur, basically Babur was a very young kid. He was from his childhood only. He was quite good. He was quite talented in, he could manage the kingdom well. But he was very young when his father died. His father basically, he died.
Ma'am, Akbar's also same.
Akbar's also same. Later on, you will see. So Babur's father, 1 minute. Let me finish this part, then you say. When he died, Babur was a very young boy.
14-year-old.
A young boy, around 14, 15 years. And
Ma'am,
not someone who was completely, well trained and well, what should I say, well equipped in everything about managing a region like Farghana. See, Babur's during that time, if you think about Central Asia was divided into small territories, each ruled by different tribes, and the tribal chiefs were there, and the tribes had enmity with each other. The tribes were constantly, fighting with each other in an enmity. They were constantly, what should I say? They were in power struggle. There was constantly a power struggle going on in central India. You have read about Genghis Khan while we were doing.
He was also a tribal chief. He was also a tribal chief.
Yeah. Genghis Khan was one person who had occupied the whole of Central Asia and united it. But you will see after Genghis Khan's death, the empire could not last long, and it again broke down into smaller parts, and there was a constant power struggle there. Now, when Babur's father died, what happened was, since he was young, his own uncles and his own relatives, basically, they started doing conspiracy against him. Oh, Shukalpu and Rupayan has found out the name. Umar Sheikh Mirza. Yes, Umar Sheikh. Yes.
Ma'am, not Sheikh me. I read it. I didn't find it out.
Oh, okay. You read it. Okay, good.
I didn't read it. I saw it. You
saw it in the movie. Okay. Shreya, I will tell you. No, nothing in the Diwali break. I will tell you if there is something. Don't worry at all. Regarding the projects and all, as we proceed, you will get to know. No, nothing to worry. Now, you see, Babur was, since Babur sat on the throne, he became the chief after his father's death. But he could not rule over Farghana for long. His uncles and other tribal chiefs, they started doing conspiracy against him, and the conspiracies were so severe, and it was, the conspiracies were not, it was bad. And then he had to leave Farghana, and he moved towards Afghanistan side, and he came there and he started he occupied parts in Afghanistan, and a part called Samarkand. Okay, so he occupied,
yes, ma'am,
near Kabul and Samarkand. He occupied that area.
Ma'am, Timur was from there, Samarkand.
From there. But then, yes, but he occupied that. Now from there, Babur's attention was not towards India at all. Babur's attention was not towards India at all during that point of time, because Babur's main attention was getting back the land of Farghana, and from his own native land, from his uncles and all who had taken it away. His target was that I want this back. Okay, so he was trying a lot to get back those areas, but his attempts failed. He was not able to win over that land, and he was in a constant struggle, that what to do, what will happen. During that time, when Babur was not able to win back his land anymore, but Babur had a dream. He was an ambitious ruler. Okay, he was an ambitious person. So he had a dream of having a big kingdom and creating a big kingdom, big territory.
He wanted to rule over Central Asia.
He wanted to rule over Central Asia, but he was not able to. He was not able to get his own land back. So what happened was, he, during that time, there were failed attempts. During such a time, actually, Daulat Khan and Rana Sanga, there were two rulers, Daulat Khan and Rana Sanga, who invited him to come to India. They invited him to come to India. See, this in the study material, it's when we made it, it is divided into small points. I'll tell you which points you
Yes,
need to
ma'am.
remember. Okay, so this was the first point that I was discussing. Now, what happened was, once he got the invitation, now he realized India was a land which was wealthy also, and India was a land, if you can rule that, his empire can be quite big if he can defeat the Indian rulers.
Yes,
And if
India was
he can
really wealthy
defeat
then.
Ibrahim Lodi, his empire will not only be big, but it will be wealthy and prosperous. And he realized
Yes,
that
ma'am.
then he can have a bigger and a better army and well-equipped army, and later on he can, try again to attack. So he thought that the deal of attacking India is not a bad deal. It's a good deal, and it should be accepted, right? He realized that winning over India was a good point. It was a good decision.
It
Okay.
was a really good.
It was, yes, Soham, tell, what are you saying?
Ma'am, I was saying that in that point of time, Ibrahim Lodi was really, really wealthy. And Babur thought about this, that if I defeat Ibrahim Lodi, then I will not only means just get a big territory, but I will get a lot of wealth, and that will really help me to create a really big
Absolutely,
name.
that is what I said. That absolutely true. That Babur realized that India was a wealthy nation. India was quite wealthy, and agriculturally prosperous, economy was flourishing, and if he can defeat Ibrahim Lodi, his many things can become better. Also, he too, just like when India was attacked by Mahmud of Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori, they realized that Indian rulers were busy fighting with each other. Babur realized, because he got invitation from two people in India only, that come to India and defeat Ibrahim Lodi. So he realized that the Indian rulers were not really united. See, during that time, the northern Indian was under the rule of Ibrahim Lodi, who was extremely unpopular. Why is it that he was extremely unpopular? I told you, he was short-tempered. It
Really
was
hard.
his whims. He can just fire anyone, and he can just tell anyone that I
He was really intolerant.
He was not tolerant, and he was not, he did not have, what should I say, the calmly, coolly taking decisions and diplomatically managing.
Just like Aurangzeb.
Not very well, very capable in those areas. Yes, Rupayan, what do you have to say?
Ma'am, I want to say that I think you missed this point, that before capturing India, he married the princess of Kabul and took over the throne of Kabul in Afghanistan.
Oh,
Before
okay.
that.
Oh, yes. He took over. That is why I just said he came to Afghanistan from Farghana when he was defeated in his native land, his uncles and all, they conspired against him and they took away those lands. He came towards Afghanistan. I just said that. I made it a short point that he came to Afghanistan, and yes, he started ruling over Kabul, of course. He started ruling, he established himself in Kabul in AD 1504, if you can see here. Yes, and he started ruling over those areas, Kabul, Samarkand, in Afghanistan side. But from there, his focus was also that he wanted to gain back Farghana initially, Central Asia, and rule over Central Asia. But then he realized that during this point of time, he got the invitation from Rana Sanga and Daulat Khan Lodi, and he realized that India was a wealthy nation and a very, very prosperous nation, for which he decided that, it's time that he turns his focus from Central Asia towards India. And he accepted the offer that was made to him by Rana Sanga and Daulat Khan Lodi. So you have learned this while doing the Delhi Sultanate, that Rana Sanga and, Rana Sanga being a Rajput ruler, his vision was clear. He wanted to end the Sultanate rule and get Delhi back for the Rajputs. So his main motive was that the Rajput rule should be re-established over Delhi. So he decided that, okay, only, a small army. Ibrahim Lodi had a huge army, and Delhi was back, there was prosperity in the sense that the royal treasury had enough money to defeat the Rajput army of Rana Sanga. The royal treasury and their army was more equipped, better than the Rajput army back then. So they thought that we can easily, Daulat Khan Lodi can be, Rana Sanga thought that it will not be easy for him alone to defeat Ibrahim Lodi. And his vision was that, okay, Babur will come, he'll defeat, and then he'll take the money and go back to his own land. But nothing like that happened. Even Daulat Khan thought that, Babur will come, he'll defeat, he'll take money and he'll go back, and Daulat Khan will become the ruler. His vision was that he'll take revenge. Definitely he'll take revenge because who insulted him? Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi had very badly insulted him once. So he wanted revenge for his insults. And then once Ibrahim Lodi is defeated and if he is killed, then there is always a chance that he can also become the king.
Ma'am, then Rana Sanga and Daulat Khan Lodi also will have a fight for the throne.
Definitely there were things to follow. But Babur was clever enough. He came, he defeated Ibrahim Lodi and in the first battle of Panipat, and he decided to stay and not go back to his own land. He decided to stay, and he started, once he won over Delhi, he started the in Delhi, he started the Mughal rule, ending the Delhi Sultanate. Yes, Soham?
He invented cannons.
Ma'am, the problem of India was that they didn't have a good relationship with other states. That's why there were conflicts between them every time, and
Lack of unity.
I'll say this. I'll not say India did not have good relation with other states. Indians did trading and all with other regions well. It's not that, it's not really that, but India was such a rich and prosperous land, such a fertile land. More than anything, if you look into Central Asia side and western part of Asia, central part of Asia, these were desert areas. These are desert areas lacking fertile land. There was not a lot of good areas where cultivation could prosper a lot. Then these areas did not receive the amount of rainfall and which is natural irrigation that we get, and plenty full of crops, fertile land, number of crops grew so well, and the Indians used to trade in all those things. Then there were forests from which elephants, ivory from elephants, all such things were available. So people came to India, and they always attacked India in the want for more money. The economic prosperity of India was something that had always attracted foreign invasion. It has got really nothing to do with because Indians never if the foreign king was good, there was good relation, but they were so busy with power struggle within each other. Many
Yes,
a
ma'am. I
time
was
they
just
have
going to say that.
fails to unite against a common outside enemy, because
They
their
wanted
point
to
was always
make
that it is
back
your
to
enemy, your problem, you just think, but they fail to realize that this is our problem when any external attack
they
was.
were just not in a power struggle.
Yes. So Rana Sanga Daulat Khan Lodi, when they invited Babur, Babur came, and Babur decided to start the Mughal Empire. Now, why is the empire named Mughal Empire? Children, please take down this part as a note, that the Mughal Empire was founded by Babur, of course. Now, on his father's side, Babur's father was next generation of, he was a descendant of Timur Lang. You have read it in Delhi Sultanate. And on
Yes,
his
ma'am.
mother's
Timur Lang.
side, they were related to Chengiz Khan or Genghis Khan, that is Babur's mother's side, who was a Mongolian chief. You just now read that he was a Mongolian from the land called Mongolia. He belonged to the land called Mongolia. They were Baburs. So on one side Timur, on other side Chengiz Khan were the ancestors of Babur. Okay, so Babur had to be a good ruler. So you see, they were quite proud of their Mongol ancestry. Babur was quite proud of their Mongolian ancestry, that we had connections with the Mongols. Hence, from the name Mongols, the name Mughal. Because they were connected to the Mongols, that is Chengiz Khan. They were connected to such a powerful ruler like